Today's guests were in the trenches during the Lions' trip to the Dakota Bowl. Joining me now, it's Corbin Okeson and Keegan Henjum, longtime teammates at Bishop Ryan with football and wrestling most prominently at the varsity side. Now, guys, let's start off with the football side of things, all right? What goes into having great chemistry when you're working together on the offensive line? I want to hear both of your takes on this. I guess we can start with Corbin, then Keegan.
I think goes into the chemistry is really just having a lot of good trust with each other. I mean, you have to trust each other, and then once you guys trust each other and communicate well, it just comes along with it. I mean, they go hand in hand, I think.
Mm-hmm. You just got to have great chemistry online because you just got to be able to talk to each other when to come off blocks, when to go up to the back, or when to stay on alignment, and just knowing what you're doing as a whole.
So, Corbin, obviously, you guys were both on the offensive line, but you look a little different than Keegan. What skills and techniques do you have to possess since you're not as big and as strong as he is?
Yeah, I'm definitely not able to just pancake someone and drizzle syrup on them, but I got some speed to me. I mean, I got length. That's pretty much what I got going for me is speed and length. I'm tall, I guess.
Had to give you a little brief on that one here. So, Keegan, we've heard of the Redskins of the 90s, but for you guys, where does the Hog Squad nickname sort of come from?
I don't know. I think it was our junior year. I went to a lineman site about a Hog Squad play. It's found over the internet, and so that's kind of where we stuck to it to get the Hog Squad.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, when we look at you guys' playoff run last season, you're able to go all the way to the Dakota Bowl. That was something that I'm sure you guys wanted to accomplish. Unfortunately, you couldn't get it done there, but still, it was a heck of a journey, namely because, Corbin, you guys go from losing to Velva earlier in the season to beating them in the state semifinals. What kind of changed from one game to the next?
Well, we really thought that we started off the year with an all-senior line, so right out of the gate we're like, oh, we got this in the bag, right? And we weren't really I don't know what it was. It was just kind of like an eye-opener that we're not there yet, and we still have a lot of work to do. And I guess that just kind of helped us really see what we needed to do to be the best team in the region, I guess.
Well, that's what you wanted to do, from the outset. But when you kind of get done and you look at the tape from losing to the Aggies, what did you kind of have to correct so that it worked out in your favor later in the season?
Oh, our coaching staff, they don't even know how or what they did, but they just they started out with they're calling plays from the box, they weren't doing that at the beginning of the year and everything. Our coaches really stepped up. Big shout out to them. I mean, they know what they're doing over there. They got to figure it out now.
Okay, so when you guys won that game to advance to the Dakota Bowl, it wasn't prim and proper like the Fargo Dome inside turf field and whatnot. It was like a mud bowl. Keegan, were those the sloppiest field conditions you've been in? And if not, what's been even worse than Velva late in the season?
Yeah, no, that was definitely the worst. It was most of these linemen trying to block someone that could literally step one direction and slide the other one was definitely very hard right away to get used to.
That was pretty awful, but I remember our freshman year when we played Hazen in the quarterfinals. That one was pretty bad too. It wasn't the field wasn't very messy. It was just, I think it was the coldest game I've ever been at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So between, I guess, whoever wants to jump on this one can. When you're in a sloppy field condition like that, when it comes to your responsibilities, is it tougher or easier to carry out good run blocking or pass blocking depending on where your feet have to be going?
It honestly, Keegan, you want this one? Or?
Yeah, I can take it. Whenever you get into a different type of setting when it's not just nice and sunny and the field conditions are good, it's always a little harder if you're slipping, keeping your feet in the ground as an offensive lineman to keep pumping them out. But it was definitely a fun experience playing it. I felt like we came into the game a lot more knowing what they're going to do and what we're going to do to beat them. So I felt we definitely had a big confidence coming into that game.
Corbin, were you guys ever considering, I know, pretty sure you wore the white unis then in the championship game, so did you actually maybe not want to put them in the wash, or did you want to look good for the Dakota Bowl?
Oh, I tried icing out. Like, I had my mom and me, we worked on that, like, we were trying to ice out, look super fresh for that Dakota Bowl game, and I was thinking about wearing a chain or not.
Mm-hmm. So, like, speaking of that, you guys have a lot of fan support, obviously, for Bishop Ryan. Tell me a little bit about how passionate these purple and gold fans are. I mean, especially your moms, because I've heard from both of them.
Yeah, we bleed it over here. I mean, Keegan, you got anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, going into that Bowman game was really where you could tell. We went in that game, I think, down 14-0, and we just threw a pick. And then Logan Merck gets a pick, and we get the ball back and score. Our fans just got so into it. Like, we could barely hear, like, our Nick calling out the plays because there was so much cowbell out there. And so, like, that just transitioned to the Velva game where I feel like our fans really showed, like, they were a big part of the game, that game.
How do well, go ahead.
We couldn't hear, like, Nick at all. We had, I think, about four or five different, like, false starts in the first quarter alone because the fans were just crazy loud.
How does
unreal.
How does the Lions at Bulldogs game end up with a bunch of cowbells?
I don't know. I think it was Jared Lundeen had gotten cowbells or something and, like, passed it out to the whole fans, and they were just ringing those suckers all game.
Yeah, the fan section was just soft. They were just, like, getting hyped up. I mean, it was a great game, too. I mean, it was awesome.
How can Nick Sanders be a louder quarterback this season for the team that's coming back?
Oh, Nick I don't know. Nick's one of those characters that he's just like, he's a quiet kid, but he can get it done when he needs to. I mean, if he wants to get loud, he can get loud. I mean, he really had it was different in Bowman that he had to be, like, really loud, but he still got it done. He stepped it up.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of just really getting it done, you guys had Jackson Feller running all over everybody last season, but how much does he owe his success to you guys on the Hog Squad?
You know, the line doesn't get a lot of respect, but I know Jackson Feller at least would always, after the game, come to all the linemen, give us high fives, say, like, thanks for blocking for me, and then maybe if we were lucky enough, we got a ice cream bar or two after on Monday.
Yeah, Jackson was a real one. He always treated us like, I don't know, like we're all of his 5 daddies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I guess that'll work. Speaking of the real ones, what's it been like being coached by Roger Coleman and all of his staff?
Don't even get me started. Yeah. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, we had when he first came, me and him actually had, like, we didn't always see eye to eye, but now, I mean, I honestly could go, like I could go ask him, you want to go hang out and shoot ball at the Y or something like that? I just like being around him. I mean, he's a great person and a great coach.
Mm-hmm. What kind of, like, how did you guys kind of butt heads at the start, and then did you kind of see, like, it was for the greater good of the team or for your skills, or how did that change over time?
I mean, I was pretty soft when I was younger. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was pretty soft. It was his, like, first year or whatever. So, like, I don't really know how to explain it because I stopped being soft.
Mm-hmm. Corbin, how much did you see that out of Keegan's game changing? He was no longer soft anymore.
He's never been soft. He's always been I don't even know. He's just been killing it all the time. I mean, there hasn't been a time where I haven't seen Keegan just kill it.
I'm sure, like, the guys can have a little bit of fun, the coaches-wise, and then sometimes they have to get down to business and be serious. But maybe something that you guys have a leg up on them would have to be your wrestling careers. So if you had some time to, like, screw around at a practice and have the opportunity to take down one of the coaches, who would it be?
Kittleson. Either Matt Kittleson or honestly any of them. Like, we're all just a bunch of goofs, but we always, like, there's a time and a place, and we always understood that. Like, I don't know how it is for you, Keegan, like, your thoughts on it, but I was always working on it. And then, I don't know.
Were you talking about football coaches or wrestling coaches?
Football coaches.
Oh, for football coaches, I would definitely take down Joe.
Yes, Joey's he can get it.
Is it because he's almost you guys' age and he gets hard on you sometimes, or can he be just an easy target?
No, both.
Absolutely both.
He's soft.
Would he agree with you that he's soft?
I don't think you would.
Probably not. I wanted to find like some kind of way to cross over from football to wrestling, so I mean that was like the best thought to it. So take me through, I guess, first Corbin, the best times that you guys had as teammates on the wrestling team, just individual and team accomplishments, as well as maybe some stuff that happened in the practice room that made just being a Lion wrestler a fun time.
Oh, dude, there's too many. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just being with the team is like, we're outstanding workers. We work our butts off, and it shows when we go to tournaments and stuff. But we also know how to have fun. Like, we can have a lot of fun. I'd just say my favorite individual memory would probably be like when I was younger at the East-West. I don't know, like, what I would do, I didn't start right away that year, and I came closer to starting earlier, and I started for the East-West at 182 my freshman year, and I wrestled outstanding. Like, I should not have done as good as I did. I ended up placing 5th, which was crazy because I was unseeded. I had like 4 matches to my record, and the whole team was just like, they were chirping me up about it, but like in a good way, and I thought that was really cool. Like, they always like, they're there to appreciate you and pick you up, even though, like, when you're not down and when you are.
Mm-hmm. Keegan, anything else stick out to you about wrestling?
Definitely a team memory this year. We were at the Lynn tournament, and me and Corbin had just advanced to the finals the next day. So we kind of didn't have to wrestle at nighttime. So we had to stay in church that week because we just had like connections, obviously. And so Gam Ledoux was probably like, I think it was like close to 6 pounds or 4 pounds over, and he had to ride the bike all night. We were kind of teasing him while me and Corbin were eating our food, so that was definitely a really good team memory.
Yeah, he was on the bike sweating, and his older brother's a coach, and he's on the bike, and he's like, just give me food, please, please. And his brother steps out, and as me and Keegan are eating in front of him, he's like getting pretty heated with us. And as soon as his brother steps out, he jumps off the bike, goes, grabs the sandwich, I think it was, or something like that, starts eating, and then gets back on the bike. And then he goes to wave stuff that night, too, and he's like still so over. And then he's like, all right, I'm done working out. I'm just going to trust in the drift. And he actually made weight. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like the biggest making weight miracle you guys have ever seen, or what?
No, Connor Ledoux, his older brother,
Mm-hmm.
He once lost in the semifinals at state. He ended up getting like close to 8 pounds over. And I go into his room because I was over too. And I just lost in the semis that year too. We're both in the bathroom. And he has like clothes on. He's biking to the bathroom. He gets cranked. He's sucking Jolly Rancher, spitting out Jolly Rancher spit. Makes weight barely for the last day of state. I mean, it was crazy. He could cut weight. If like there's anyone I've ever seen cut weight, Connor can do it right. Connor will do. Big shout out.
I got to give him a call. So, I mean, how long does that kind of stay in? Like, does he gain it a bunch like the next day or a week after that, or what? Does it come back?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, he's wrestling 133 in college, and right now he's probably close to 170, and he always makes it. You don't know how it's even possible, but he makes it.
He's like Christian Bale or what?
Yes.
Absolutely. Keegan, Corbin, we had a couple guests on that have done, on the side sports like travel basketball, AAU, and all that stuff. And we're going to get into you playing college wrestling in a little bit. But tell us a little bit about like the non-Bishop Ryan competition that wrestlers can do to kind of get noticed and impress colleges.
Well, I mean, I did a lot of like out of season stuff. I think that's one thing that kind of caught colleges' eyes, like going to national tournaments, and I would place at these national tournaments or whatever, like the USA Wrestling Folk Style National Championships in Des Moines, I think it was that or whatever. I placed 8th. I mean, that's where I got Itinerary to notice me. I got Concordia and like two other colleges that are there. And another thing is, don't be afraid to go and reach out to colleges. Like write them an email, write them a letter, right? And like it's not a bad thing if you want to go wrestle for a college, or like any college you want offers or whatever. Go get them to look at you. Like you can't just expect everyone to come to your door. You're not going to be all Cale Sandersons or Dan Gables or you know. Mm-hmm. You got to reach out sometimes.
Did you reach out for St. Cloud State?
No, I was blessed with the opportunity that they came to me. But when I went to the Jay Robinson intensive training camp for 14 days, I went to there twice. On the second time, the first time I went, Jay Rob wasn't there because of his hip surgery. But the second time, he was there, and he actually told that to all of us that you can't be afraid to reach out to colleges. You just got to go and do it. If you want to go play somewhere, reach out to them because I mean it's hard for you to get noticed too. I mean, there's so many athletes out there. I mean, sometimes you just won't get noticed. It doesn't matter how good you are. So if you just reach out, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, I don't think.
St. Cloud State has like a ton of wrestling pedigree, so it has to be exciting for you to go there. In what area did you think you made the biggest impression on them? Was it like for Bishop Ryan, your other tournaments, or like the camps that you went and they could see you like really closely?
I would think the wrestling like in high school, like my accomplishments through like going to being a varsity wrestler for 4 years, then qualifying 4 years and placing for 4 years, and 2 of the years being the state finalist. I think that's kind of got them.
Okay.
Like look up.
All right, so Keegan is also going to be playing college sports, right? You're going to Minot State for football, and you were a standout career for the Lions in both football and wrestling. No pun intended here, but how much did you kind of weigh doing wrestling versus college football?
So I didn't really want to wrestle, but Steve kind of talked me into it, and we had just lost in the semifinals my freshman year, the DLB. I was like, okay, I'm not doing this whole wrestling thing. But, you know, over the years, it definitely, from sophomore year to junior year, really popped off, I feel like. And I give all that credit to wrestling. Just footwork and, like, mobility to move and stuff like that. But definitely football is a way bigger favorite than wrestling was.
What was Steve kind of saying to keep you on the wrestling team?
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
Huge shout out to Steve Lipp. He's the man. And Brock Nagel and all the other coaches. Huge shout out to everyone. All right.
Oh, yeah. Who didn't know those guys rock? Exactly. So, Keegan, just tell me a little bit about, what Steve had to say to you when you were, like, wondering if you wanted to keep wrestling or not.
So Steve, so after that loss to DLB, we had practice like the next week. I was like, okay, I'll tell him to quit now. You know, his big thing is always just give it a week. You know, so I was going to try and do both basketball and wrestling because I used to do basketball. And so just eventually I kept giving it a week. And then eventually, I think it was after our first tournament, I won the Minor High one. And I was like, okay, maybe I can do this.
What sold him was the shirt that he won.
Yeah, I got a shirt. And I was like, get some more shirts, some winning tournaments. So, and I was the teammates that, because we had Jordan Will and Peter and then the other Peter. So it was definitely the teammates that kept me there too, just being around everyone.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever have somebody in practice, Keegan, kind of challenge you up, like jokingly, and you guys, like 2 weight classes down, thinking they could take you at all?
Well, Corbin, obviously, he might be able to kick my butt a little bit. He's a little bit better than me. But obviously, Wesley Harvey, too, he was our 106-pounder. He's like, I think it was his freshman year, he's like, I bet I could throw you right now. And then we eventually wrestled, and I threw him to the ground and, slammed his back.
into the side padding or onto the mat?
Right onto the mat.
Oh, okay. I would have tried to put him on the side, and then he could fall down all on his own. But that's just me, and I can't do that. So you're going to be a Minot State football player. What kind of impression did you get out of Coach A? Because I've heard a lot of good things when he comes to being a player's coach, but also kind of leading the culture where people want to play well for each other and, put the work in.
Yeah, so when I was looking for colleges, it was kind of that which is going to be most like Bishop Ryan, just because we were so small, but we were so close. It was like a family, and so going around, I went to my official visit at Minot State, and there was just a couple players there, and we went to go see a couple afterwards. But you could just tell that, like, when you walked into the door, everyone was greeting the new guys, like all the incoming freshmen. They're always asking your name, what you've been up to, and like how's life going. Not just about football. They just like worry about your who you are as a person too.
Yeah,
so that's
what
I got from Coach there.
You're from across the street, man. So what's the itinerary for a recruiting visit when you obviously know what the town's about?
Yeah, it was. I think it was after our last regular season game. I had a game visit. It was I walked across the street and everyone's like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I just got done with the game, just across the street." And it just, I guess, helps with family here and all that kind of stuff, and friends still.
Corbin kind of naturally got into what kids from around here might have to do in order to get noticed by colleges, whether it's performing in games or matches or just literally sending them a line. Keegan, what advice do you have for somebody that wants to take that next step into college sports at Minot State or somewhere else where they're from a small town?
Be a hog.
Yeah, Corbin said it. You're going to have to reach out. I went to many football camps, and that's one of the biggest things they push is, like Corbin says, they're not just going to go be looking around, oh, there's a kid from Minot, North Dakota that's got a good tape. You got to say, this and this, and here's my huddle film. Would you please watch it? If they have the time, they'll watch it, and if they like you, they'll keep talking to you. But just reaching out, going to camps definitely helps. So there's a lot of college coaches.
Get in the weight room.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously the off season is the biggest way to get better.
Okay.
If you guys off season, you're gonna be great.
Because when you hear about off season camps, okay, there's two different ways you can think about it. You're either an elementary school to middle school JV kid that goes to these camps in the off season to get better for that season. But when you start getting invited to junior days and senior days where ultimately that's kind of where the offers can come out from, is there kind of a different vibe when it comes to the competition when you show up on the fields there where hey, this guy is here for the same reason that I am. He wants a route to play college. And maybe it's not always about just getting better, but just looking better. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, you definitely, when you go to those camps that are based on how you're doing, they're gonna recruit you. You definitely kind of come in it's a game day, real pumped up. You just can't, because like you said, it's almost, if you look better to them right there, you're more likely for them to talk to you than someone else because you're beating up on kids. So yeah, it's definitely a different mentality for games and camps like that.
Got it.
It is gonna be fun.
What, be a hog?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's that simple. Good. We'll start with Corbin and then go to Keegan. Where do you guys kind of see your respective college programmings going and performing in your time there?
The best.
Best in the nation, baby.
I mean, for St. Cloud, honestly, I do think that we will be a very good team. Obviously, I like to joke around and say stuff, but I through what I've seen, I went to one of their practices or everyone I visited there and everything, and they're dogs over there. They work hard. And even with the off-season plan they gave me, I mean, I know that they're not messing around over there. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, and they don't they have connections too. The plan I received from the workout plan I received from St. Cloud, they got it from the Olympic Training Center for wrestling. It's it's a hard program. It's tough. So you can tell they're not messing around. They obviously put in the work to be the best, and it's just showing off everything that we're doing in the off season. You can see it, the progress we're making in the off season and the actual season. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm just thinking that I'm hoping for us to, because we've won 4 national championships in the last 5 years. So I'm just hoping we can continue the tradition, keep it going.
Yeah, I don't want it to be on you, Corbin, if they mess up and don't win 4 and 5 again.
Oh,
Absolutely.
That's not worrying.
Yeah. Keegan, how about you guys for the Beavers?
Obviously the last couple of years haven't been the greatest, but we're definitely on the up and up, I feel like, just because the family aspect and just the coaches, what they're bringing in, like the freshmen and the sophomores and everyone there. We've been working all summer. I feel like we definitely have the right group of guys to do stuff here. And then obviously you're not going to see like a big jump right away, but just gradual we get better. And so I feel like we're close to that tipping point to being great, winning a lot of games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For anyone who's looking at a college to go play football for, I would say build the dam, go Beavs.
There you go.
Yeah, Beavs versus Alabama. Let's go.
We want Bama? Oh, geez. Coming from a Husky, wow, that means so much. Thanks so much. Well, hey, you guys, this has been really good catching up here. I know it's been a while since football and wrestling season, but it's been nice to keep the talk going. A lot of people will still be following your careers. I know your moms definitely will be. So, again, appreciate the time, and that's Corbin Okeson and Keegan Henjum. Thanks.
Yeah, we missed you, Ben Barr. All right, see you, dude.